Welcome back everybody, thank you for watching another video. So today we're going to have a look at one of Gerber's new multi-tools, the super slick ultra low profile lockdown pry. And as always guys, if at the ending of the video you want to purchase a Gerber lockdown pry, make sure you check out the link in the description below. I've been using Gerber multi-tools for a really long time. I got this one back in 2005 when I was working for Best Buy in the home theater department. Can't tell you how many times I've used these bits. And when you're on a ladder, just to have these slide out pliers so you can use the wire cutters or just to tighten something down real quick. It's really convenient. But, you know, sometimes you might not need the pliers and sometimes you may not even need all these bits. So basically what they've done with the lockdown is they've kept the size the same, but they've taken out the pliers. Let's have a look at the 10 different functionalities the lockdown pry has. Alright, let's begin with a size comparisons so you can get a reference for how big the lockdown is. So here is the 9-volt battery. Basically just sits right on top of there. Right, so about the same width as a 9-volt, and if you turn it sideways, a little bit thinner. A little bit thinner than a 9-volt battery. So I'll place it down like that so you can see that there. And just to give you a size reference of the main blade, it's 2.5 inches. I'll bring the battery back in so you can compare that. Alright, moving on to the weight reference. Normally I like to have my EDC knives be right around the weight of a deck of cards. So right around 3.3 ounces, 3.4 ounces. But of course the lockdown is a multi-tool, so it's going to be a little bit heavier. And it's coming in at 5.9 ounces. So just a few ounces heavier than I would like to have in my EDC blades. But after all, this is a multi-tool. There are 10 different functions in here. And with this seriously deep carry pocket clip, those 10 functions just disappear in your pocket. You're not even going to notice it's there. Now, half of those 10 functions are right down here at the pry bar area. So of course you have the pry bar. Then you have a nail puller, flathead screwdriver, both long and short, and of course the bottle opener. Alright, let's have a look at the nail puller and see how effective it can be. So you're just going to slip it right under there. And because of the angle of this pry, it's going to give you a lot of leverage. So you should be able to yank out whatever you need to with that nail puller. Alright, moving on to the flathead screwdrivers. Now the smaller one was going to be a little bit more finicky because the screw that you're trying to remove, the slot has to be large enough for it to fit in here, and I couldn't find one that would work. But the larger side, no problem. You just put some pressure down on here, and you can break loose whatever you need to. This thing is going to be great in a pinch. And of course with the pry bar, you just get it in between what you're trying to wedge open, and you pop it open. Wonder what's in here. Ooh. And rounding out the 5th function on this pry bar area is of course the bottle opener. You're just going to wedge that cap right in there, pop it off. And just let me give you a final rotation around that pry bar area in case you're wondering what it looks like exactly. So you have a lot of different angles you can try to get your flats in over here for the screwdriver half. Let's have a look at the scissors on here. Probably one of my most favorite functions on here because sometimes in a pinch you needed to clip them hair in your nose. But just imagine a pair of scissors. It cuts. It gets the job done. They're spring-loaded. So again, when you pop it out, all you got to do is fold it over this way. Alright, here is a look at the file, and there are 2 sides to this. There's a single cut on one side and a double cut on the other side. And it's also a chisel, which is really neat for doing a lot of different things, especially maybe if you need to bang something out with a hammer. You just stick it in there and bang it out, or if you need to scrape something. That is just a beautiful option to have on there, as well as having 2 different versions of a file in there, both a single cut and a double cut. Then you got your replaceable number 11 blade, which basically is just like an X-ato knife, but you can replace it. And that's what that looks like there. And that should be able to cut through stuff like this. So this is about an 8-ounce leather. Did I get it on the first crack? Nope, one more. That's very sharp. And lastly, we have our main blade. So this is 2.5 inches stainless. Nice plain edge, going to be very easy to sharpen and maintain. If you're wondering about the thickness of that spine, here's a quarter. Get that there so you can see how thick that spine is. Let's check the sharpness out of the box. Whew, not a bad factory edge. Just a quick note on this 2.5 inch blade here. So it's shortened up a little bit because of the thumb stud here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, if you're slicing across like this, you're not going to run into the problem. But when you're trying to come down like this, it's going to ram right into there. So really, that's about as much cutting edge as you get there. So it's a little bit shorter experience as you're going down there. So I would say maybe about a 2-inch blade on there. All right, let's have a closer look at the locking mechanisms of these tools. So if you have a look here, you can see, to me, it's listed as a frame lock on their website, but to me, the frame is on this side. So maybe they're considering this as being part of the frame. But to me, this is more, I guess, of a liner lock because it's on the inside. But you can see how this metal arm swings open and locks underneath the base of the tool. So when you want to close it, you just push it in and you're done. I love the form factor of the lockdown. It's low profile, slick looking. Again, about the same size and thickness as a 9-volt battery. Again, I think their primary purpose behind making the pry is to try to get people to stop using your blades as a pry bar. And they've successfully done that now with the lockdown pry. Remember, there's also a drive version that has a driver bit in there. But I love the functionality of that pry bar. I think this is probably going to be the more popular of the two. Only criticism is I wish I had put some of the tools on the other side. That way, if you wanted to switch it around and open it with one hand, you can. For me, this is not a deal breaker. If you're used to rocking like old school Buck 110 knives, you had to open that up with one hand because there were no thumb studs. But for the most part, pretty easy to open. If you wanted to service your knives or maybe loosen up how tight it opens up at, you could kind of mess around with these torque screws in here. But really, what this is meant to be is serviceable. You can take it apart, lubricate, and clean it. But absolutely love this form factor. Absolutely worth it. Once again, guys, this has been the Gerber Lockdown Pry. Remember, it also comes in the drive version. We got 10 different functionalities, one low-profile form factor. So if you're looking for something to throw in your bug-out kit or complement your toolkit, this is it. Remember, if you want to purchase one of these guys, make sure you check out the link in the description below. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.